Hello, my friend. Welcome to practice. Congratulations on making it to your mat today. This is a really tricky thing to do, but you did it. We did it. We're here together. We're here to experience a full body movement practice. And today's practice is very special because it is a compilation of the types of moves that our body would love for us to do every single day. And it's condensed down into the size of a warm-up. So you can use this class on its own, but you can also combine this class with other physical activities that you might be doing for the day, or just to prepare yourself to have a day in your body. And as a result of this, you should feel stronger, more energized, and ready to take things on. So let's get started. I'll meet you on the mat on our backs. Have a chair nearby so we can do some hip mobilizations later. And of course, have any yoga props nearby that might be helpful for you, such as blocks or blankets. As you get yourself settled down on your back, move around in any way that feels good. Take a moment to settle into your practice. Deepen your exhales through the mouth. And find a position for your body where you can pay attention to your breath. Take the next few rounds of exhale through your mouth as if you were breathing out through a straw. When it's time to inhale, seal your lips, breathe in through your nose, and send the breath way down into the middle of your abdomen. Feel the breath inflate from the inside out as if you were inflating a balloon into all sides of your abdomen. Feel your lower rib cage inflate on the inhale and contract on the exhale. And begin to notice if your breath is cut off in any place in your body, if you simply cannot feel your breath move into an area. And then consciously send the breath into that area and feel expansion. It's very important to breathe like this and to take the time here, because this is when we are efficient energy users. And now if we can get our brain to start sending motor commands into our muscles in a way that preserves this breath, well, then we're strengthening our muscles' ability to really hold ourselves in a very strong way. So try that out with me as you anchor your feet on the ground and begin to scoop your tailbone up towards the backs of your knees for bridge pose. As your pelvis lifts away from the floor, get space in your low back and notice how that shifts your breathing. Continue to breathe low in your belly, expanding three-dimensionally around all sides of your lower rib cage. And now begin a little pulsing action here. Just tiny little movements, lifting and lowering the hips, keeping space in the low back the whole time, and keeping the breath very anchored. Connect to the tripod of your foot, so your foot is pressing down evenly through that tripod on both feet. And as if you could draw a stocking of activation up your legs, you feel the inseam of your leg light up and the outer seam of the leg light up as well. Now hold the pelvis up there with me and imagine now the spine as a string of pearls. We're going to segmentally lower down, starting with the top of your spine. So right underneath your heart, begin to lower that piece of the spine down, and like a string of pearls, allow the rest of the spine, the sacrum and the pelvis to come down. Then reverse that, starting with the tailbone. Lift the tailbone up and like a string of pearls, begin to roll the rest of the spine up to bridge. And starting from the top of the spine, slowly, segmentally, as if you could move each pearl independently of its neighbor. If you find it helpful to link breath and movement, you can link breath and movement, perhaps inhaling your way down and exhaling your way up. After this last one, release and relax. Just let it go there. You can move around in the knees or the hips or anything else really that feels good for you. Maybe here you might want to stretch out your wrists, taking the hands up, pulling back on the fingers of one palm. Perhaps even bending into that elbow to feel different sensations through the forearm. And the other arm as well. Deep breathing here, three-dimensionally into the lower abdomen. And now taking the knees back up through center. If you have your yoga block nearby, you can squeeze it between your legs, but you don't need to do that. Ours are kind of far away, so I'm going to stick it out without it. But feet into the ground, a stocking of activation up the legs, into the pelvis. Then interlocking the hands behind the head, elbows wrapped in. Start with a full breath in. Inflate your low back ribs into the floor. See if you can feel that happen. And then exhale, lift up off the shoulder blades any amount. Hold it up here with me. Relax your head into your hands. Draw your chin into your throat. See if you can feel your spine connect from your tailbone all the way out through the crown. When you're ready, lower down. Take a full breath in down here. Fill up completely into the lower ribs. On your exhale, squeeze from the inside out, lift up. Really anchor all of your tummy flesh down into the floor. None of it poofs up. And as you feel ready, lower down. Taking another full breath into the lower ribs. As you breathe out, lift up. Option to add complexity if you want, extending that left leg long. Return that left foot with control and lower down. Full breath into the nose, inflate the lower ribs, you're doing great. Exhale, lift up. Option to add complexity, extending the right leg. You're doing great with control, lower it down and lower. We're gonna see if we can do that one more time on each side. Please take breaks whenever you need to. It's so great to build up our capacity in this way. Take a full breath in. Exhale, lift up. Option to add complexity, lift the left leg. Option to add more by turning an inch to the left with the upper body. Come back to center, lower the left foot, and lower down. Amazing job. One more side. Full breath in through the nose, your own timing. And then exhale, lift. Option to lift the right leg. And option to turn an inch to the right. Come back through center, lower the right foot, and lower down. Great job, my friend. You can draw the knees into the belly if that feels right for you. Maybe circling the knees or rolling around on the low back. Find something that feels very soothing to your system here. Take your time to roll over to your side or rock and roll the length of your spine to roll forward. And here we'll meet in a seated position. We'll want to find some space on our mat where we have some space to move even the legs to the outside of the mat there. So this will take some time for us to really figure out how the distance to set our feet apart. Let's set them just a little bit wider than the hips there, anchoring the heels down. And then with the hands behind us, move around in your pelvis. Because the pelvis is kind of on the ground here, it's kind of underneath us. It's hard to feel exactly where it is. And we're gonna move into working with the hips here. So now see if you can get the weight even between your right and left sitting bones, and you push yourself up so that you feel yourself sitting on your sitting bones, which are at the bottom of the pelvis, rather than rolling back onto your tailbone. So it is nuanced here, but the more you'll get it, it'll click into place. And then feel yourself grow up through the crown of your head there. And as you breathe, every inhale, try to inflate right here into your middle back. So you're taking that breath there. Now with control, we're trying to keep a sense of integration through the whole core as we windshield wiper the knees over to the right. So it starts with a rotation in that hip. And then lift your knees back up through center and windshield wiper them to the left. So let's move back and forth like that, doing less dramatic movements so that we can really anchor our pelvis in space. Because where we want the movement to be coming from here is right in the hip socket itself. So I'll turn to face you now. And after this next one, we're gonna see, take it to the right, push your body weight forward and see if you can come forward and take your knees into this 90-90. Yeah, and so you can shift your legs a little bit and just see how your body reacts to this. You might feel there's something going on in my left hip right now because it's not used to this position. So just kind of see, what do your muscles feel like? What do your joints feel like? And then take your hands back behind you, lean back a little bit so that you can get the clearance to bring the knees up through center. And then we'll take it over to the left. So you got to push your body weight forward to see if you can come into any position that's manageable here, and seeing how the legs feel, how the hips feel. It could feel quite different from one side to the other. Now lean back there, see if you can come back through center, and we're gonna keep going like that. So you have the option to come forward and take your hands away from the floor, but if it doesn't feel good for you to do that quite yet, don't worry about it. Just take your hands behind you, and you can keep moving like that. Now, if you are feeling good, because we'll do about another maybe 5 more of these, if it's feeling okay for you, come into your 90-90 with your right leg in front of you. And now see, where are my frontal hip bones? Can I find them underneath me? And then can I feel my belly kind of hold itself together? I gotta kind of pull my belly button back. And can I get my heart lifted upright over those hip bones? So I just see, to whatever extent that makes sense. And now, coming back through center, take it over to the left, and same thing. So I see, where are my frontal hip bones? I want them to be kind of magnetizing toward each other. So can I feel a sense of that? Can I feel my abdomen hug in and my ribs start to stack over the bowl of the pelvis? And now I come back through center. Great job with that one. We'll move forward into tabletop position. As you layer your hands under your shoulders, see how your wrists feel about supporting your body weight. You might pitter-patter your hands a little bit there, or shift your body weight left, right, front, back to really expose the hands and wrists to the work. As you layer your hands down, layer them fingertips first. So pick one hand at a time and do that fingertips first, layering them all the way down on one in both hands. And you want to feel right here where the fingers connect to the palm. That's the part that's really pushing the floor away. Now bend your elbows and wrap them back toward your body. And as you do that, push your arms up to straight. Feel your shoulder shrugging muscles right up here. And they want to guide themselves down into the body, and then the back of the neck grows along away from those shoulder shrugging muscles. Breathe every inhale, fill up your middle back ribs. And now we'll move through some cat-cows. So on your inhale, stretch your heart up Maybe look up, lift up through the backs of your hamstrings. On your exhale, squeeze your air out of you as you curl your tailbone down and pull your heart up in between your shoulder blades. Move back and forth with your own breath. There's so much to feel and experience here. I suggest doing less. Less is more. And really feeling on the inhale, when you come to your back bend, you still want to feel that inhale, inflate those low back ribs. And then when you come into your rainbow arch, really finding space in your low back vertebra, keeping those shoulder shrugging muscles tucked into your body the whole time. Now we can walk the hands a palm print forward, walk the knees back just a little bit, setting up for dolphin prep there. So we can lower the forearms down, elbows shoulder width distance, maybe a little bit closer. And you decide, do you like your hands separated? How does that feel? If that feels already too much, interlock the fingers together. So you take the version that works for you here. And now shift your body weight around so you can start to feel your chest muscles hold you. So your forearms push down, the upper arm muscles turn on and hug the bone, and you feel them come up into your chest. Keep your chin tucked into your throat, lengthen the back of your neck. And you can work it here, or if you can handle a little bit more, tuck the toes. Think about slurping your front body into your back body as you lift your knees and shift your hips up to the sky for dolphin. Focus on your breath. Focus on drawing those shoulder shrugging muscles into your body and instead pushing through the forearms. Muscles around your armpits and your shoulder blades hug your upper back. Imagine it if you can't feel it today, it will open up for you. As you feel ready, take the knees down to the floor. Shift yourself on up. Take your time. Use your chair if you'd like to come up to a stand. Here we are at the top of the mat. We'll shift our body weight down over the chair, heart between the thumbs, feet under the hips. Take a moment to set yourself up. Your spine is in tabletop position, which we just practiced. Press down with the tripod of your left foot as you peel the right heel up, bending that knee. And now just little fire hydrants, opening that right knee out to the right just a little bit in an effort to really turn on that left side and keep your pelvis where it is. Next time you open it out to the right, flex through your foot, push through your foot to lift your right knee straight up behind you using your hamstring, and then draw the knee into the belly. Open the right knee out to the right, push through the right foot as you lift the right knee up behind you, then draw the knee in. Take that a couple more times. Paying attention to the part of you that's staying still as well as the part of you that's moving. Change direction. You can always take breaks if that left leg is really singing to you. The more that you do this, that more that left leg will just feel so strong and in control. Take the right foot down, push off the hands, roll the spine all the way on up to stand. Soft bend in the knees so that you can upright the pelvis. And as you breathe in through the nose, send it down to your lower ribs and reach the arms up. Exhale, soften the hands down. One more time like that. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, this time hinge forward at your pelvis, hand shift over the chair there. Find a tabletop spine as best you can. Slow inhales into those low back ribs as you peel the left foot away from the ground. And at first, just little fire hydrants, opening that left knee out to the left side, trying to anchor the pelvis, keeping the pelvis really still, concentrating the movement into the joint. The next time you open that knee out, flex through that left foot, push through the foot to lift your left knee up straight behind you there. Breathe into those back ribs. Draw that left knee in, really crease at the pelvis. Open the left knee out to the left, push through the foot to lift the knee up behind you. Draw the knee in. Take a couple more in this direction. And then as you feel ready, change direction. Use your exhales out through the mouth like you're blowing out through a straw if you feel pent up or tension at all in your face or your jaw. Taking that left foot down to the ground. Push off your feet, ground into your heels, roll all the way on up there. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Soften the hands down. Stand on your left foot, stretch your right foot back behind you there. Keep the heel elevated. Bend the back knee, scoop it forward so that you can upright the pelvis. Turn your frontal hip bones to face the front. Stack your ribs over your pelvis. Stretch up through your chest. Maybe take your hands behind your head there. With your chin parallel to the floor, gently guide your head up and back. As you feel ready, stretch through the arms, feeling a full stretch through the whole right side of the body. Then taking the hands down in front of the chest, lift all the way up, turn open to the right there. Bend just into your right knee and pulse, little side lunges. You got to send the pelvis back here so that the work is shared amongst your right ankle, knee, and hip. Nothing's doing too much work. You don't feel any joint is overburdened. Okay, coming upright, turn to face the back, high lunge on the right. Bend your back knee, scoop it forward a little bit so that you can upright the pelvis. You can stack your rib cage, open your chest, and float your head back, maybe using your hands. Stretching through the arms all the way on up to the sky there when you feel ready for that. And that's just an option. Soften the hands, press down through that front foot, straighten the leg, turn open to face the side of the mat. Now we bend into that left knee and we pulse here a little bit. I like to use my hands on my pelvis to kind of feel for where are my frontal hip bones here. Bending into the knee, sending that hip back as much as I can. And now turning to face the front there. Stand on the left foot, step the right foot underneath. See how you feel. Ground down through your feet, come all the way up onto your tippy toes and lower your heels. We'll do 10 of those up to the tippy toes and lower. Get right up over the big toe ball mount there. And at first, it might feel like you're really topsy-turvy, going all over the place. That's okay. As you repeat this, that's why we want to do it about 10 times, you'll start to see if you can get a little bit more sophisticated. Maybe you can slow the movement down. Maybe you can control it a little bit more. If you find that doing this with both feet is just too much, alternate, and that's okay. You can also hold on to something, and that's okay. So we find the version that works for us. This time, ground down through your heels, tripod of the foot grounding on the floor, softness in the knees. Breathe into your lower back ribs as you reach the arms. As you exhale, forward fold. You can use the chair or your yoga mat to step the knees back. We'll meet in a tabletop position. Grounding the hands down underneath the shoulders there. Move around, tuck your shoulder shrugging muscles into your body and breathe fully into your lower rib cage. Now tucking the toes here. Feel a 90-degree hip crease between your pelvis and your thighs. And we want to keep all of that as we push and shift our knees off the mat an inch. And then we take the knees down. And we push and we lift. And we take the knees down. Push, lift, take the knees down. This time, push, lift, option to shift the hips up and back for downward facing dog pose. Your arms are trying to lift you forward as if you were going into a plank, like a top of a push-up. Meanwhile, your legs are trying to pull you back, really deepening the crease between your thighs and your pelvis. Softness through the neck as you take full deep breaths. Inflate your entire lower rib cage three-dimensionally. As you feel ready, shift the knees down to the floor there. Keep the toes tucked under as you push your hips back. Feel the feet stretch open. Walk the hands forward and lower the forehead towards the floor for a little child's pose. Full deep breaths into that lower rib cage. Then shifting forward into our low lunge there, into our tabletop position there. Coming on up to a high kneel. We're almost made it, my friends. We do want a little bit more for our legs and our hips here. So getting yourself upright, pelvis over the knees, tailbone tucks. If this is too hard on your knees, please pad yourself up here. That will oftentimes give you just the support you need so that you can hang out here and do the work. And now put a little bit of tension on your thighs by leaning back. Keep your tailbone shifting down towards your knees. And now lift up. Do this about 10 times here and don't go too far. What we want to do is lean back far enough that we really feel the quads fire up. There's demand on them. The butt is working to help support us. And we're doing our very best job to stay integrated throughout our whole core. Great job here. Let's say this is our last one. We probably haven't done 10, but that's okay. We'll shift our body weight down to the floor again for tabletop position. Feel the pose. And now kind of shift your right hand over to the left to get clearance to step your right foot forward. If this feels like you're too crunched in, lift your hands up onto something higher, including your chair or a yoga block. And now feel your whole torso here. Can you breathe into your lower ribs three-dimensionally? Lengthen the back of your neck and take your right hand to your right leg. As you breathe, slurp your front body into your back body and turn open towards the right, as if you could stack your right shoulder. Push through your left pointer finger and lift your left armpit over the wrist. If you'd like, take the right hand behind the head, pull your chin into your throat, and use your hand to gently pull your head away from your body, creating space between your left ear and shoulder. Option to reach the right arm all the way up from there. As you feel ready, take that down to the floor with control. Move the right knee back in line with the left. Walk your hands over to the right a little bit. Get your clearance to step that left foot forward. Even out your body weight between your two sides there and suction your legs into your pelvis. Keep your right hand on the floor under the armpit. Take your left hand to the thigh as you turn open. Push through the right pointer finger and get the armpit to really lift. And then maybe take the left hand behind the head, tuck the chin, but lengthen the head away from the tailbone. Option to reach that left arm up. As you feel ready, return that left hand down to the ground there. You did it, my friend. Pull that left foot around and we'll cool down in any way that makes sense to you. So you can take a child's pose, you can come down onto your back, or simply you could take a seat here or move on to your next activity. So the fact that this is designed to be a little bit more of a warm-up means that we'll really customize how we move out of our practice. So whatever you are choosing today, I'll guide us through a little ritual to bring us back into our practice. And if you're not ready for that, tune me out or turn the class off so you can have a little bit of private time with yourself. The way that we'll end our practice is first by taking a moment to scan our bodies and see what information is coming up. What physical sensations are you experiencing? Where are they? What are their qualities? And do you feel a certain way towards those physical sensations? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Gather all of this information and now say to yourself, it makes sense that I feel this way. I give myself permission to have the experience that I'm having exactly the way that it is. And I can cope with it. I can handle it. And as we move forward into the rest of our days, we put our personality back on, we tap back into our to-do list. What can we bring forward with us from our yoga practice? What can we embody more fully in our lives? It could be as simple as I can drink more water, or I can exercise patience with my loved ones, or I can work on regulating my emotions at work better so that I don't get frustrated with my colleagues so easily. See what comes up for you in this time. And then go and live that. Have fun. Life is an adventure. We're not here to be perfect. We're just here to chip away. Thank you so much for joining in today's practice. I'd love to know how it went for you. If you wanted to write me a quick comment or drop me an email. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow, either for this class or another one. Have a wonderful day, my friend.